Hello everyone and welcome to Civ 7. Feels like it's been ages since Civ 6 came out. Excited to hop into a new game here. This is the very first time I'll be playing Civ 7. I did not have any pre-access or anything besides the deluxe package that gives you 5 days early access. So these videos will be based on my first playthrough and a beginner's guide to Civ 7. To get started here, I think we're going to do the random leader. We're going to start at the beginning of the game, Antiquity's Age, of course. And we need to choose an age and civilization. Let's go ahead and randomize that as well. Difficulty, we'll take it up to, let's do Sovereign on difficulty. Game speed standard. Map type will stick with the Continents Plus that they have auto-selected here. And map size, why don't we do standard? Let's check out our advanced options here as well. Make sure we have everything that we want selected appropriately. Age length standard, we'll take that. Disaster intensity, let's bump this to moderate. Usually play on setting 4 in Civ 6, which is the max disaster intensity. So we'll leave it on moderate for now. Crises are enabled. We'll do that. And let's see what player settings we have. Okay, looks good to me. Let's launch in.
The people gather together, debating music and politics, poetry and law, envisaging how to build a Greece that will last for ages.
So something that's going to take a bit of getting used to for me personally is we rolled Benjamin Franklin with the Greek Empire, and so just assigning such a diverse leader into a culture that historically is inaccurate, I think is going to take a little bit of getting used to. We do have a Greek hoplite, which is their unique unit, same from Civ 6. Tier 1 Greek unique infantry unit, +2 combat strength if adjacent to another hoplite. We get a great person with 1 charge. Logios can only be trained in cities with an Acropolis, and a specific Logios received is random. Okay, each Logios can only be received once. Cost increases per Logios trained. Gotcha. Odeon looks like a building here is +3 happiness, 1 culture adjacency for quarters and wonders. Greek unique happiness building, ageless. And Pantheon +4 culture, +2 influence if placed on rough terrain, and +1 culture adjacency for wonders. Greek unique culture building, which is ageless as well. Dawn of Civilization. We are in tutorial mode. This is first off to help me, since this is my first time playing the game, but also potentially to help you if this is the first time you're watching these videos or reading these messages. So we're looking to found our first city. Let's take a look here. And we're on a river, which if I am to understand correctly, these are going to become navigable rivers, and we're right at the end. So I do think that this is probably a good place to settle for the time being. The classic food to feed your people, to grow your population exists, production to construct special buildings and train units exists, and science to propel our tech tree still exists as well. Settlement generates an amount of production each game turn. This production can be used for many things like constructing important new buildings or training powerful military units. A city should always be producing something. Of course. Let's pop in, and of course we're going to grab the scout. Some things never change. I'm not sure what... Click to reopen. Okay, so that just is opening up our tutorial here. Let's pop into our scout, and why don't we start moving down this way? And I'm going to go just tile by tile. Again, not knowing what to expect or what the game could throw at us in this early age, I'm just going to be kind of meticulous with where I'm sending units for the time being. Looks like we need to pick out our technology that we want to research. They do have a tech tree, which is great. This has been around for eons now, and kind of allows you to see what you need to research in order to get to, say, if you want to get into a library or research initiative, then you know you need to get to writing. Why don't we, because I'm not certain if this will allow me to go down rivers or not, it doesn't say that I can. I think Let's take a look at our surroundings here. We've got some cotton, it looks like, and some silk. Yep. Um, you know what? Let's do sailing. Again, this first time we're just going to be experimenting. If we make a mistake, we make a mistake. I will say that um, the help is a little overbearing. I'm going to start with a granary here, and it does look like we need to select where we want to build the granary. So there's a lot to learn with how buildings work. They're no longer in the city centers. But this is +1 food on farms, pastures, and plantations. Warehouse food buildings, ageless, buildable in all ages. I can't read that last line. Can be purchased in towns, maybe it says. But here it's talking about can construct a new building. You must choose a placement location. Buildings can be placed in an urban district with an empty slot represented by the dark green color, or you may annex a new urban district tile represented in light green color by placing it there. Yellow tiles contain existing rural population and their improvements. Placing a building on these tiles is possible, but will replace the improvement. Okay, so why don't we take a look at what tiles we can place it on. I think I'm going to place it just to the east of my city here. We'll drop that down. Again, the help is definitely very overbearing. It's explaining everything that there is about Civ, which I know is the idea, but as a person who's played some Civ in the past, it would be nice to have like a new to Civ 7 only, not Civilization method. Growing our city. When a city grows, it can expand into an adjacent tile, gaining the yields it offers. When your settlements people move to this tile, they'll create an improvement, a rural structure for them to work and live in. Tiles with high yields and tiles containing resources are an obvious choice, but specific yield types may better suit your strategy. Okay, so it looks like to me we're going to get to pick what tile we want to take over next, instead of it just expanding outward however it chooses. I'm thinking we grab this river here, and it also has silk on it. Oh, okay, so I can only select from, this is confusing. I think I can only select from the green tiles. Okay, so kind of, when I picked this tile, it kind of, what we would say, culture bombed these 3 tiles to capture around it. Interesting dynamic of the game. Let's step again one at a time. We've found an independent village. They appear to be friendly. Village could potentially be a strong ally with the right amount of persuasion, but it could also prove a threat to your civilization. Finding the location would be wise. So their scout just moved to the east here. Looks like my scout is ready to move up. We're going to step across onto this river, and that looks like it used up all of my movement. There's our independent city. Again, I don't quite understand what I can do with them yet. I know that I can basically befriend them or attack them, of course, but something that I have noticed that's different from Civ 6 and kind of a welcome difference is instead of the scout remaining open or popping up at the beginning of my turn and saying, hey, command me, it now just brings it up in your... Ooh, okay. Took some damage from that flood there. But it does just bring it up down here in your wheel saying that unit needs command. Looks like we are growing again in our capital. I think let's grab this. Yes, let's grab this tile here. That'll culture bomb and give us that silk down the river. Our scout is ready to be moved. Let's get him out of the flood and let's see if we can heal him. So lookout. Let's read what these say. Lookout is increased sight range +1. I assume that'll burn my movement speed. Search. Dang, these buttons are hard to stay on top of. Search is increased sight range +1 for 1 turn. Reveal all discoveries within twice this range. Okay. Or skip turn. I don't see... Okay, so if you are looking for your heal button, it's no longer in like the quick pick menu. It's in the expansion menu as heal. We're going to rest him and heal him up. I did really like that animation it did just there. hard to get zoomed in on it, but he went from standing up to almost like a tent where he's sleeping and the dogs are standing guard. We're going to continue progressing through turns here. There's not going to be a lot to do, especially with our settler down. We are on turn 10 already. Looks like one more turn here should get him fully healed.
The fair breeze blew, the white foam flew, the furrow followed free. We were the first that ever burst into that silent sea.
Okay, we finished our research on sailing. It looked like our scout may have needed one more turn for healing. Automatically got this pop-up for building your legacy. Civilizations are remembered for their accomplishments. Some spread accomplishments across a wide range. Others are devoted to a single cause. Your advisors are at your service to guide you on your path of your choice. Like any great leader, you may change your mind at any time. Now choose where to focus the efforts of the Greek people. So we've got 4 options here. It looks like economy, military, cultural, or science. Let's take a look. I would say I'm pretty scientific heavy, so I'm going to take the science advisor path. We need to change our, well, we don't need to change. We finished sailing. We need to select our next tech tree to research here. And why don't we grab animal husbandry? I think that'll be good for us here. I'm not seeing any animals around at the immediate moment. There's some sheep down here, looks like, for wool, but they're not going to be within our borders. I'll leave that scout healing for one more turn. We do need to pick our civic to research here. And why don't we get started with, let's take a look at what we can get. Scouts gain 1 movement. We'll get an army commander, or this is +2 gold in all settlements. Let's get started with mysticism. We need to choose a government. And we've got 3 options here. Each government gives a set of choices during a celebration. So Classical Republic gives +20% culture for 10 turns, +15% production towards constructing wonders for 10 turns. Despotism gives +20 science per turn, and +30% production towards training infantry units for 10 turns. And Oligarchy gives +20% food for 10 turns, and +30% production towards constructing buildings for 10 turns. I am really interested in growing as fast as I can, so I'm going to take Oligarchy for the food. I think if we can kind of outgrow and outscale the UI players in the early game, I think that's going to give us a great benefit in the later game. Looking at social policies, it says, under your new government, you may enact a social policy. Complete civics throughout the age to earn more policies to enact. Go ahead and choose your first. So we've got 2 available and 1 policy slot to plug into. We can either get +2 culture on the palace, and we're sitting at 10 per turn right now. So that's not bad, 20% increase. Or toolmaking is +1 production and science on the palace. I'm going to go with charismatic leader, and it doesn't look like you have to click and drag. You just select. So unselect, select, and you can't replace it. Interesting. Swapping policies. Yes, of course, we can do that. Continue here. Get the scout rested up and ready to go. Our granary has been completed. Let's take a look at our city here. We need to expand another tile, it looks like. I'm thinking we want to go... Ooh, this is tough. I'd say either grab the silk. No, you know what? I think I'm going to grab this flat grassland. And if it does what I think it's going to do, it's going to drop a culture bomb and grab this +3 food and 1 happiness tile and another +3 food. So we'll grab that cotton. Improvements. When you direct your people to live on a rural tile, they create a structure to work the land called an improvement. Some policies, unique abilities, and even buildings can further improve improvement yields. Okay, good to know. So new resource, recent expansion has allowed you to improve a cotton resource. Resources grant bonuses or abilities to the city that hold the resource to your entire civilization. Cotton has the following effect, which is +2 food, +2 production, and this is a bonus resource, just as it was in Civ 6. So it can be assigned to any settlement. Remember, buildings cannot be placed atop resources, so growing atop them is always a great idea. Good to know. I think it just mentioned that we can produce our first settler. I think that'd be a great idea. We don't have any projects and no wonders to do. So either we grab the hoplite or we grab a settler. since we don't have any military, let's grab the hoplite. I just worry about being sniped in the early game, and then you know, we just wasted our first gameplay of dying to the AI. We'll continue to move this scout around. Ooh, what do we have here? Rough plains, gypsum. Okay, interesting. It's a fancy graphic compared to Civ 6. We just met a foreign leader. Let's pop in. Okay, so unlike Civ 6, where you're kind of just a party to meeting them, this one you actually get to make decisions. So we have friendly greeting, neutral greeting, or hostile greeting. Hostile is -20 relationship. I'm not sure why you would take that unless you're just absolutely dying to go to war against them. Your neutral greeting is nothing, or friendly greeting reveals the capital of either leader. If nearby, your capital will be revealed, and +20 relationship. I'm not sure why you would not take friendly, like I said, unless you're just absolutely looking to go to war. Lots of cards here about diplomatic actions. I know a lot of these are similar to their Civ 6. So let's take a look at Egypt here. Okay, so we can hop right into like a research collaboration instead of needing an alliance, which is pretty cool. So research collaboration, if accepted, you receive +4 science per turn. The other leader receives +2 science per turn. Both leaders receive +6 science per turn if supported, and lasts for 15 turns. Relationship change, if accepted, is 5, and if supported, is 12. This doesn't completely make sense to me, but I'm inclined to do it, no matter what. Great. There's no further negotiations needed. It's just active, it says. So we'll let that run its course. We've got our scout. So now that I'm looking at this, there's definitely different river sizes, and I wonder if that's going to play a factor in what is deemed a navigable river. But it's pretty cool to see a Civ game where a river actually grows from like a stream or a pond or lake or whatever you want to call these, and it picks up different water sources and grows in size. That is actually really impressive. We did find some coastland coming up soon. We can step onto it. One thing I've been noticing is it seems as though if you're not careful, you could potentially not realize that you have movement left. Like right now I moved one tile and it just took me automatically out of the scout unit. But if I click back in, I still have one more movement ability left in that turn. So something to be aware, if you're not going to move the entire distance in your first click, you might need to click back into that unit. It looks like Egypt is inviting us to a cultural exchange. So we can either support, accept, or reject. Support gives +6 per turn for both leaders. Accepting would give her the benefit of culture per turn. And rejecting doesn't really do anything for us. I say that we support it. It does look like it's costing us influence points, but I mean, that cost me, I think, 60 points, and we're making 13 per turn already. So that's seems like it's going to be really easy to keep up and just continue to fund anyone that wants to put anything in front of us. Okay, we should have finished our hoplite. Let's grab our settler now. We, in fact, did. Let's move our scout the full distance this turn. I'm going to do... I hate stepping out of the city with our first unit, but we're going to go ahead and do some exploring with them just around our capital. And that is a massive mountain. Compared to any previous civilization mountain that was kind of still felt very 2D, that was a very 3D mountain.
With envy.
We finished animal husbandry. Let's pop into our tech tree again and take a look at what we can research. I would like to, thinking I would like to hop into writing. So let's grab pottery and then that'll unlock writing. I will say, just being the first time I'm playing it, it is a little bit confusing looking at like the tech tree. I feel like it just looks different. Maybe there's not a lot going on, but to me it feels like there's a lot going on that is not as crystal clear as looking at the Civ 5 or Civ 6 tree. We need to grow our city again. And I'm thinking we grab one of the wood tiles. So this one says that it's got lumber, it looks like. Vegetated. Vegetated, yeah. Oh, or we can grab food with the chickens on it tile. We're making a bunch of food. We've got 14. Let's grab a production. One production, one gold, and one happiness. Yeah, we'll grab the river. So something to note, our scout did just embark onto this water and then back onto the land. So it seems like that's not locked behind a tech anymore, particularly for scouts. I'm not sure if that's for every unit, but at least for scouts. That'll allow for a lot more early game exploration. Egypt is proposing an open market. Again, same three options: support, accept, or reject. And we're at 107, making 13 per turn. I think we have to support it. We could accept, but that just gives her an edge at the cost of 60 influence, which we'll make back in 5 turns. So we'll support it and get the full bonus from her. Take a look at how I can get around here. Let's step off into the water. Pearl divers have made this stretch of coast a favorite site, but they do not allow others access. So we can either force access, which tile becomes a Pearl's resource, or scavenge when they depart, grants 50 gold. Well, that's a hard one because I don't know what this actually means for the game in the long run. I would say that I'm really inclined to take the gold and run because who doesn't want 50 gold? That's 50% of our bank. But we are making 13 gold per turn, and it seems to me like the right answer is force access and create the resource that should provide gold per turn, I would assume, in the future. So why don't we'll force this one, force access here. Locals now permit outsiders to harvest pearls, but they do so with stony stares and muttered curses. Sorry. Doing a little bit more exploring to our north. We've got 4 turns till we pop out our settler, and I'm not certain what I'm going to do with them yet. I do know there's a little caveat. There's a little caveat with settlers in this game, I believe, where you can settle a town that feeds kind of like support growth to the city that it's supporting, or you can settle a entirely new city. I don't know which one I'm going to do just yet. Seems like we're pretty far to the north. I'm assuming that this is the map edge where we can kind of see like a cliff wall of ice sheet. And, ooh, yeah. So it lets you scroll all the way down to the south, and all the way down is, in fact, a far distance from us. So something to keep in mind when we do go to settle.
There is another world, but
Let's check out our government policies here. So it looks like we gain priesthood, which is +2 gold in all settlements. I'm going to keep charismatic leader plugged in. A passing likeness. Attendants cheer as the veil falls away from your enormous portrait. This is a brilliant likeness of you, a celebration of your generosity in the leading style. Okay, so we can, there's 3 options is the gist of this paragraph. One, it looks like you get culture, which is hang this portrait in the place of honor, 25 culture. One is one-time gold, destroy the insult, +50 gold. Or pay to have it redone, which is +1 culture on palace, but -25 one-time gold. Let's take the culture this time, and let's pop into our civics tree. And we can either do discipline or public life. Just kind of taking a look at what everything is locked behind these. I think we're going to do discipline, kind of just stay in the order that this is laid out for us. Interesting. Seems like 2 different civic trees. One's for antiquity civics and one's for Greek civics. I'm going to stay on the antiquity tree for now, but something to note. Looks like we did get a pantheon. It's time to choose pantheon. Once you or other leader choose, it becomes unavailable. Okay. So we've got several options here. Oh boy. So it looks like the ones that become unavailable are grayed out. It says another civilization already worships this panth. So only 2, 3 have been taken. Fertility rights, of course. That was a hot commodity in Civ 6. So let's take a look. So I think, without spending too much time on this, I think God of the Sun sounds pretty enticing to me. This provides +1 culture, food, gold, happiness, production, and science on the altar. And from the sounds of it, we should be able to build multiple altars. So we're basically covering all of our bases, however many times we build a altar. Let's take our scout. I guess I'm going to just stay in the sea here. I mean, it doesn't seem like I'm getting penalized for this pathing where I disembarked from the ocean and then embarked again. I still got 2 tile movements out of that. We do need to find somewhere to settle. I've got 2 turns left.
All are made of clay.
We've finished pottery here. Pop into the tech tree. And I know we said writing, but let's take a look. Irrigation would grant +1 settlement limit, which sounds like that would be really worthwhile. Though writing does have the library, which provides science. Let's go ahead and grab writing. Irrigation is likely next, so that we can continue to settle and expand. But again, this is first time learning of all of these abilities. So I will say there's something interesting up here to our northwest. We've got gold, we've got iron, of course, and then silver, and just production, it says. I'm assuming it's like a stone quarry or a mine, maybe. It looks like whatever this tile was, which turned into a mine. Okay. We have our settler now. Let's take a moment to take all of this in. So red, if I hover over a red tile, it's showing settler cannot build too close to another settlement. Okay. Yellow tile shows no fresh water available on this tile. And blue must mean that it's ideal for a settlement. It's got fresh water, etc. Without knowing, it doesn't seem like there's anyone to the north of us. If there is, I'd be shocked. There's not much land up here, it doesn't seem like. I assume that there's probably got to be someone this way, and there's definitely got to be someone down to the south of us just because of how far the map will continue to go. I'm thinking we move somewhere down here on one of these blue tiles for our second settlement. This is a risk sending them out by themselves, but let's take it. We can now build an altar, depending on the pantheon you chose. We might need one to receive its effects. An altar also contributes to the base amount of happiness. Okay, that's good to know. We know how ranged combat works. It is good that the pantheon kind of shows up here in your altar. It's got all of our +1s listed out here. It would take 11 turns to finish. We can also build a brickyard, which grants production, science, and some culture. Same with the saw pit. We can also grab a unit, including one of our settlers. I think let's grab an altar. Interesting. So the altar can only be built on these green or yellow tiles, it seems like. And I'm just kind of looking at what provides the best benefit. Seems like this one here has the most 2s and 3s. Again, without knowing what's to come, I think this is the one that makes the most sense. We might be shooting ourselves in the foot for something else down the road that has better benefits than the altar, but it's part of the learning process. Continue to move this hoplet. I'm not sure what this is. Stone stack? We'll find out probably here in a turn or two. Let's continue to move this scout around. And let's see if we can... Nope, not quite. One more turn, we'll step on and find out what that is. This settler, let's step forward just one tile at a time, trying to be safe and pre-plan our movements. I'm not certain what... I mean, it looks like it locks you out for 3 tiles, just like Civ 6 did. So I'm thinking to maximize down here, if we settle here, 1, 2, 3, that leaves one of these tiles in the rainforest, or potentially this tile even to settle. 1, 2, 3, yeah. So I think the tile that it's recommending makes probably the most sense for us. We'll start heading there. Continue to move our scout around. We're going to step onto this tile and see what it does. Okay. An elder of this remote village has died. The body is wrapped in a vibrant hand-woven textile. In its colors and patterns, the stories of its creators. Interesting. I do kind of like the pop-up, the style, where it's almost like a comment bar coming from the tile instead of just popping up and taking up most of your screen, like Civ 6 did. So, and if you hover over these, it explains what happens. So, learn the weaver's techniques, grants plus 45 culture, or take the textiles, 75 gold. I think we've got gold moving pretty good. Let's grab the culture again.
Do nothing which is of no use.
Okay, we finished discipline. Looking at our policies, survey would be nice to have, but the +2 per turn culture for charismatic leader makes a lot of sense. Let's pop into our civic tree and figure out what we want to do next. Public life has the oracle behind it. Code of laws has the Petra. Also can improve trade relations. That's enticing. Terracotta army for tactics. I'm not sure what the mastery is. It's almost just like a secondary discipline, it seems like. And it would grant Gate of all nations, +2 support on all wars. Must be placed adjacent to the district. I'm not going to spend my time getting a mastery just yet. I think we grab Code of Laws, if not for anything but the improved trade relationships would be nice. I'm going to take our settler and continue moving. I wish we had a little bit more vision just to make sure we don't get jumped by someone down here, but we knew the risk that we took when we sent them out unescorted. I think I'm going to automate my scout. We have a great general, or an army commander they call it now. So we can grant a promotion to this unit, fortify. I'm curious, coordinated attack. I wonder what promoting does. Okay, so it opens up this tree here, which it looks like there's nothing that we can do yet, which makes sense, but I don't know why that is not just grayed out like the rest of these. Just not sure. So let's go ahead and fortify. We'll take this settler and continue to move across this river. And there's our first sneak peek of a navigable river. Looks like they pop into a boat there. I'm probably going to just send my soldier here back to defend. We've got our scout moving around as needed. We need to grow our city again. And I'm starting to wonder if there's a benefit to not growing, if you can sit on it for a turn, or I'm not certain how that works, but why don't we grab the silk, culture bomb the rest of those tiles. Found a little bit more gold out here. We can step our settler on land again, and next turn they'll be able to settle. You know what I do need to do that I've forgotten about so far? Let's go ahead and move this. Oh, didn't even see there. It's covered up by the city name. Shepherds have found a cave perfect for aging various cheeses. Locals find their unique musk irresistible. Those in the capital will find them a pure delicacy. We can either sample the cheeses plus 30 science and plus 20 food, or study the technique, which grants 45 culture. I think we would sample.
The spoken word conquers all thought.
That'll finish writing for us. Looks like we have Legacy Path, Great Library 2. We're going to go ahead and accept this objective. What I wanted to take a look at again was open up our relationship with Egypt. We have one turn left on the research collaboration. I want to keep them rolling because it's only giving us a boost constantly. So if we fall out of a relationship with her, I'm going to pick it up right again. The Blind Poet, a Greek poet, begins composing an epic work about war and conflict. Many enjoy his work, but some prefer a more adventurous tale. Plus 25 culture or plus 25 science. Let's grab the science. Some of these choices where it's only granting like a one-time plus 25 culture or 25 science, I don't know that it matters. I mean, if it was 50 science and 25 culture, I would know what to do immediately. It'd be the 50. But since we're early game, I don't know that we're going science or culture yet. I kind of just went with my gut and picked the science one. So we got another one here, Ben Franklin's Printer. Plus 50 science. Selecting this option will begin a quest. plus 50 culture, selecting begins a quest, or plus 50 gold. Definitely want to take the quest. I don't think there's any reason not to have a quest going on that I know of. So again, pick your poison, science or culture. I'm gonna go with science. Pop into our tech tree here, and we're gonna grab irrigation. By the way, all of our quests are listed up here. So we need to build a library and research writing 2, okay, and build a garden. And I don't know that they time out ever. Doesn't seem like they do. There's no countdown next to them. So it doesn't matter if I do it next turn or in 100 turns from the looks of it. We're going to take this settler. I just want to make sure it says found settlement cannot be within 3 tiles of another settlement or independent power. Done. Your people have made a new home, providing you with your first town. Like a city, food from the settlement allows you to expand into nearby tiles. However, buildings and units in towns can only be purchased with gold. That is really good to know. We have 220 gold and 16 per turn. You can also spend gold to turn a town into a full-fledged city, though the gold cost is greater to move cities you have in your civilization and decreases as the town grows. Okay, so we can already expand, looks like. So let's grab, just reading what my productions are here. I think the +2 food, +1 production, and +1 happiness makes the most sense. It'll also allow us to, culture bomb or grow out and grab this iron tile up here before this independent power gets it, assuming that they can also grow and capture that. Oh, ooh, okay. That was abrupt and unexpected. I got to notice it's gone already, but it looked like we pissed off this independent power probably for settling so close to them, something that I had not thought of. That's fine. We've got our soldiers in here. We can do a lot of damage to the slinger. Less damage to the scout, it looks like. And stalemates on all of these warriors. So, it would take 4 turns for me to get in and defend this city from the inside. I think I'm going to step forward. I don't know. Do I still have movement left? I do. I wonder what happens if I step into their city. Should we find out? I don't know. Either I'm going to attack this slinger or step into their city. I wish I could put it to a poll, but this is not a live video. I'm worried about what happens if I do attack their city. So let's do the definite combat with this slinger. I'm going to take the scout and I guess just stay in the water. Again, there's no penalty for it, so might as well. We're going to progress next turn, see... Ooh. Okay, so they murdered my unit up there, but it turned them away from the city at the moment. That might not be the worst thing, if that buys us time either to get a unit or maybe negotiate peace. I'm not sure how I talk to them, though. It doesn't allow me to click on their city. It did already give me a warning that this was a defenseless city. I'm not certain what I can do about that, other than pop in and buy a unit. The limits of faith, so plus 50 happiness towards the next celebration, or plus 25 culture. Let's do the happiness here. And I want to come in and let's see what we can do to defend. 120 gold on either a hoplet or a slinger. I'm going to take the hoplet. That should help defend that city for the time being. We love the council day, so our oligarchy grants plus 20% food for 10 turns, or plus 30% production towards buildings for 10 turns. We are building an altar for 3 more turns. I don't think... I need to pop out some units, it looks like, so I don't think I'm going to be building much anytime soon. So let's take the 20% food. We did grow our social policies by 1 more card. Let's grab toolmaking. We have a unit to command, yes, the scout here. And we'll progress next turn. Let's see what their units do. So they're moving towards both of my cities here. I forgot, I said we were going to do this. Let's renew our research collaboration. Cost me 55 influence. So it looks like she accepted it. And not to spend it all in one place. We're going to do a friendly greeting. And we can also grab a research collab with them as well. And I will, in fact, do that. Not certain. I could attack here and come out on top. I think I'm just going to defend, though. Reinforce army. Reinforce the army of selected commander. Unit is removed from the map during travel time. Okay, I don't want to do that because I would lose him up here, it sounds like. I'm going to go ahead and fortify. I think it would make that silly for them to attack me then. To prevent an early loss in this game, I'm going to grab a unit up here. I think, let's grab... Oh, let's grab a slinger. We need to purchase them. 120 gold. We have to do it. I don't want to lose my capital right off the bat. We can already expand our city down here. We'll do so by grabbing... It's going to be one of these 2 tiles. I think I'll take the 3 food. Settlement under threat. Okay. I already knew that, so we'll see what comes of it.
I peered down. I took up the ruins. Screaming, I took them. From there, I fell back again.
So we found our first natural wonder. Seems like a little bit of a buggy graphic going on. Not sure if it's my graphics or the game. Looks good though. I like it. It's a little bit more muted than most natural wonders, especially from the previous civs where it would have like radiant sunshine from behind it. Let's see what troops are doing down here. Doesn't seem like they're going to attack me, so it is what it is, I suppose. We met a new leader. We're going to do the friendly greeting here. It looks like we can't grab another research collaboration with them, so that's all right. We'll leave it as is for now then. Our slinger can do a ranged attack on this slinger, and they will. And we're going to play our one last turn, so we're hitting the next turn button here. They're now starting to retreat their units, it seems like. I would not mind chasing them down a little bit. Let's step forward 1 tile. Can I reach them? I can. Okay, good to know. What about... Can't quite reach them with our hoplet. We need to grow our town again. So it's growing impressively fast. Let's grab the 2 food, 1 gold tile. Continue to grow. We have production in our capital here. We can either grab a hoplet for 3 turns, not a bad idea, or another slinger for 3 turns, not a bad idea either. We have 2 wonders that we can build. This one grants combat strength, and this one grants 200 gold when you construct a wonder. Not crazy about either of them, and they're 27 turns. Don't need a research initiative for 20 turns. Settler would be nice, that's 7 turns, not bad. I think I really want the library though. Interestingly enough, it costs 2 happiness. It's minus 2 gold and minus 2 happiness for maintaining the library. Sawpit and Brickyard don't have those maintenance costs. Ooh, this is a tough choice. What's it going to look like to build a library? +3, +3. Let's wait on the library, I suppose. I'm going to grab another slinger while I'm at it. I'm going to walk into a pony. Looks like there's going to be like a goodie hut here for me to grab, but that will be in our next episode. Thanks for joining us, and I hope everyone is as excited for Civ 7 as I am. It does seem like it's a very well put together game so far. My biggest complaints are some of the UI is just not as friendly as previous Civ games have been. It's very detailed, which I appreciate, but at the same time, it's not a pop-in read the tech tree, know exactly what you need to do or what you want to research, and pop out. It takes a little bit more reading. Maybe it's because I'm still new to the game, or maybe it's just because it's a little bit more cluttered, in my opinion. But regardless, we'll see you in episode 2. Thanks for joining. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more Civ 6 and Civ 7 playthrough.